In the previous video, I cannot finish to talk about this example. So we just continue to see passing parameter by value. So you can see here, even we call this method, we pass by x. So x equal to 1. But after we finish, we display the x again. X still equal to 1. So the reason is x only passing the value 1 into the method. The value for x itself didn't change. But after you passing the x equal to 1 to the method, actually they just assign n equal to 1. N equal to the same value as x is. So that we call passing by value. So this value will be held by the argument variable in the method. So that's actually we have a memory space n referred to 1 inside the method. So here I can increment n become one more value. So then you see n inside the method will become 2. But one thing is after your method finish, the argument variable we're using in the method, they will be released. So that's the passing parameter by value. Okay, so that's we finished the first introduction about the Java method. The next one I want to talk about another very important concept about the method. We call overloading method. So overloading method, actually we have that in C++ as well. When we say a method or a function being overloaded, that's actually allowed you to define a function or a method with the same name, but with different signature. So when we say the different signature, actually that's mean because in a method signature including the name and the parameter list. So that's mean if we have the method, they are overloaded. That's mean those methods, they have the same method name, but with different passing argument. So the passing argument can be different passing argument number, can be different passing argument data type. So here we can see an example for max method. We just say we have a max method. We have the method name is max. So then we can compare two integer. Okay, so did you remember earlier we have a max method? In slide 8, you see here we have the max method. So this max method, we only pass in two integer type. So we say if the number 1 greater than number 2, we return number 1. Otherwise, we return number 2. So that means the return type is int. So then we just return the bigger one. So when we have the max method, we can pass in two integer, but also we can decide we want to compare two double number. So that means I can define another static max method. You see, since I pass in two double variable, so then the bigger one will be returned. So the return type is also double. So these two max method, you see one with two double variable, the other one with two integer argument. They are overloaded method because they have the same method name, but their argument passing, even they both passing two number, but they are in different two data type. So that's what we call they are overloaded method. So that's why here you can see from my demo file, I have test method overloading class. So you can run this program. Let's demo this example in the Eclipse. So we can see here we have the test math overloading source file. So you can see here, after the main function, we have one max method. passing through int data type. Then we have another one having two double max value, double value through the max method. But also we also have the third one. We have the same max method, but we passing three double value. So that's why you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3. So all these three, they are overloaded method because they all have the same method name, but different parameter list. So when we in the main function, if we want to find the maxima of 3 and the 14, so then you see because 3 is integer, 14 is integer, so compiler will find this one is the best function method to invoke. So then when we have the maxima for 3.1 and the 8.9, so they both are double number, so that's compiler will use the best matched method to invoke. So now you can see, right, you have three double value. So then we know we will invoke this method. So then we can run this program. So then you will see, right, see here, let me put it down a little bit so you can see the result from the console. So that's the overloading method. Overloading method, to be simple to talk about the definition, is overloading method can allow the same method name with different signature. So here we have example for 2 integer, 2 double, or 3 double. So that's very clear for compiler to know which method they should invoke when they're using the same method name. So after you understand the overloading method, okay, so then let me see if you can answer correctly. So we have the following method. We want you to answer, are they overloaded method? So the first one we have method 1 is the function name. Then we have the first one, you have 2 integer parameter and 3 integer parameter. So are they overloaded method? Right, they are. Good. So then the same thing, we have 2 integer, 2 double. So are they overloaded method? Good, so they are. How about this one? I have a method 3, they have the same method name. They both passing argument 2 integer, but one return int, the other return double. Are these two overloaded method? Very good. Actually, this one is wrong. So this one actually is not overloaded method. The reason is when we talk about the signature, they already have the same parameter list. So when we say the signature for the method are not including the return type. So even if you say, oh, the return type is different, they are overloaded method. No, actually return type cannot be clear to specify the method are different. Actually, compiler doesn't have enough information. So when you try to have these two methods, compiler will say, okay, they cannot recognize when they call the function, which one I need to invoke. Because one thing is, you see, they both passing their argument. And also when we invoke a function, we only call the method name passing by the argument. So the last one actually is not overloading method. Overloading method, we need to be careful. They have the same method name, but a different number or data type argument. But sometimes we talk about that you have some ambitious invocation. So sometimes there are 2 or more possible match for an invocation for a method, but the compiler cannot determine which one will be the best match. So that's why we call it an ambiguous invocation. Ambiguous invocation will cause a compiling error. What does that mean? So the same thing, this one you can see from our demo file, you can run by yourself too. But actually for this one, you can't, when you try to open that, you will see you have error here. We see why we have the error here. Because here they have 1, 2, two max method with the same method name. But the first one, they have two arguments. The first argument is integer. The second argument is double. Then your second method, the same thing, they have two arguments. But the first argument is double value. The second one is integer. So that's why actually, even you from line 10 to line 22, you didn't see any error. Because by definition, these two methods, right, they are overloaded method. However, when we try to invoke this method, I pass in max 1, 2. So you can see 1 is integer, 2 is integer. Honestly, they don't have the best match. But because sometimes we can do the data conversion, right? Because 2 can be 2 integer, we can consider they are double 2. So 1 int, we can consider they are double. So that's why compiler confused which one I should invoke. So that's why you have the error. So this error is we call the ambiguous invocation, because compiler cannot make the decision which one will best match. So that's why sometimes actually what we will do is, earlier we just try to show you the example about the overloaded method. So of course, when you want to compare two numbers, then you can either just have only one double max double, or int max int. Okay, instead of you kind of max up with the different data type in the different order. So that's our ambiguous invocation about the overloaded function. So when we talk about the method in these two videos, so of course later you can, in the Zoom meeting, we will start working on the lab exercise 3. So then you already have enough knowledge to do that. But I will still continue have ask you to watch the one more video. So that we will start talking about the array. So that's in the next video.